It's the 17th of February. Bitcoin and the crypto market is at a key decision point. We look at Bitcoin on the weekly. It's had a disappointing close at around the 97,000 mark on the weekly close. We really needed above the 100,000 for it to be a continuation up and a confirmation of a higher low. We look at Bitcoin on the daily and we see this battle going on between the bulls and the bears. But the bulls are really ramping up and holding that line. Let's see what happens. We're going to come to a key decision point, especially as today is a national holiday in the US. So tomorrow we're really going to understand where this market goes. The levels are clear. I've given you all the levels of where this could go, especially as this week we have some key things happening. There's the FOMC minutes coming out. There's Donald Trump speaking. There's a whole wide range of information that's going to be dumped onto the market to see what's going to happen. And this could very well adjust where this goes, to be honest, because where we're sitting at the moment is at a key decision point. Either we will go down and we will get a touch here at the 93,000 and a rally back up, or further deeper or absolute maximum reduction back to the 77,800. One of the problems that we're facing at the moment is the sheer amount of volume on exchanges. It's just reducing on a weekly basis. This is not a good sign. Low volume means manipulation is easy to do, and this could potentially push this market down a little bit more. We look at others, which is the crypto market minus the top 10 coins, which is in essence the alt market, and it is not looking fantastic. Look, the thing that I would say, the way you read this, is that it's at full decision point. Usually when it taps this multi-year trend line, it causes a very strong reversal back up. We've seen it several times and it's happened in that manner. The problem is that it's now sitting in between these two EMAs, the 21 and the 55. This usually indicates a violent movement one way or the other. Which way that will be, we will see, and I got a feeling it's going to depend on some of the news that is coming out this week. Now, I will say it's not all doom and gloom. There are levels of hopium, which is why it's so difficult to read this market, which is so hard to trade this market, because on the one hand, we have all these things that are pointing to a downward pressure, but on the other hand, we have things like the SPX, which is the S&P 500, which is just broken out on this trend line, and usually Bitcoin follows that. This breakout could be a continuation on. Again, today is Monday. It's a national holiday, so Tuesday we will see where this rally goes. If this continues on, Bitcoin will follow suit. We look at USDT dominance and it's looking great. It's looking like it's produced a lower high and a lower low. This looks like the top of the wick fill strategy is being filled in, and it looks like it's going to come down. It's tapped that area I talked about the other day where it was a key level of support. It's had a bit of a rejection of it, but it looks like it's coming back down. The moment it breaks this, and to be honest, it breaks this 55-day EMA, we are on for a bit of a rally with alts. We look at Bitcoin dominance, and again, it's doing all the things that we're looking at. The moment it breaks this 60% mark, that push down and potentially below this 59.5, we are on a very strong push for all alts. But at the moment, it's really in decision mode. That's why the alts are really struggling. You'll see a few popcorn type of events where one or two will be going absolutely parabolic. But the problem is that we need to get below this before we get to that level. Another level of the strongest hopium we have is that the DXY is continuously breaking down. Again, the number we need to break is this number here, this line here, this support, around the $102 mark. Once it gets below the $102 mark and potentially breaks this $100 mark, we are in for a full-blown alt season. We have to watch this carefully. This is the number now. We've moved away from quantitative easing. There is the chance of quantitative easing is becoming slimmer and slimmer because of the inflation and the Fed having that mentality that it needs to bring inflation down to 2%. And we're nowhere near that. We're growing and it's actually accelerating. So the dollar is where we're sitting at. And this is the key information to look at. We look at Solana and we've had a very interesting test of this trend line. Now, this area here could be a area of support. It has been many times, so this could be a level of reversal back up. But I think the market is getting a bit tired of this roulette, meme coin, pump extraction of liquidity aspect, and they're not selling back into Sol. This is the problem. So they're selling back into a stable coin. So they see these big pumps. There's a bit of a rally of Solana to buy it, and then a eventual pump down. Now, what could be an interesting trade is that this level here of support is usually revolved by some level of support and a push back up. So you could put your stop loss at this below the wick of the previous low if you're in a bit on a risk on asset, and see where it goes. But I will say, if it breaks this line, then the next level is $157. So quite a percentage move, about 30% from there. So in conclusion, the market is unsure. Volume is low. There's key information coming out this week. The market is hypersensitive to news. You can see it in the graphs. You can understand that there is a level of decision point now. We're either going to go up and try and break that $106,000 mark and continue on from there, or we are going to go down and get around the 90,000 level and potentially find support there. There are three more levels that it could go down to. Now, the key thing, and there's a few other issues that could happen, we could try and get up to the 106, not be able to break it, and then have an aggressive pullback down to those lower numbers. There are three levels that we see here. We'll see what happens. We have to understand, again, today is a national holiday. So tomorrow will be the range that we will look at and understand where this market is going. So keep an eye on it. Be clear. Understand what's going on. Be vigilant and be very, very, very careful with leverage trading, because right now the market is all controlled and manipulated, and we're hypersensitive to news. So people are wary of moving forward.